Patreon, going strong. If you want to go over there and join in on the fun, we got 3 tiers on Canadian dollars. First tier is $3 a month, where you get these episodes ad free. You also get AMAs once a month, or learn about me episodes once a month. And then on the second tier, which is $5 a month, you get everything from the first tier, as well as coverage of a reality show of yesteryear. That's right now Jersey Shore, currently in season 3. You can also go to the main feed, where there will be the first episode of every season released there. So you can try that before you head over to the Patreon. And then on the third tier, you get everything from the first 2 tiers, as well as coverage from a true crime documentary. We got the backlog of Ashley Madison documentary, Man with 1,000 Kids, Into the Fire, Lacey Peterson, and again, all those episodes for the first episode of each is in the main feed, so you can try that before you head over. So if you are interested, you can head over to patreon.com/realityt times 2, and you can sign up for whichever tier you feel for. Again, you can try before you buy, which basically means you can try any tier for a week before committing to it. Even if you are on other tier, if you are on tier 1 or the first tier and you want to go over to the second tier, you could still try that second tier for a week before committing to the upgrade. So again, that is at patreon.com/realityt times 2. And of course, the link is in the show notes, website, social media accounts. It's all available there. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we're going to be discussing, finally, Love is Blind UK. So, a couple things. This is going to be exclusive to Patreon early release, basically, for a week. So each episode following will be exclusive to Patreon for the first week, and then will be released to the masses after the fact, after the week. If there are videos for any of the episodes, they will be exclusive to Patreon. They will not be released anywhere else. And so yeah, I think that's basically the gist of how we'll be handling. And I think this will be the case moving forward with a lot of the Netflix episodes. This is what we'll kind of be doing. As for this episode, this is audio only. So that's kind of how we're handling this episode. Anyways, as always, we're not going to be doing any hot goss or anything like that, or any announcements really. We're just hopping in to Love is Blind UK. We see Matt and Emma. Thank God. The best couple host. Because we can't stand the Lachey's. Anyways, or at least Vanessa. Anyway, the men, as always, for this are gorgeous. This must be something in the water in the UK. Lord. So we get the spiel, as we always do, for the beginnings of this. And then the pods are now open, as we know. So we first meet Ashley. We see her first talking to a guy named Charlie. So we find out she works in cabin crew. Basically, she's like a flight attendant or something of that degree. She's been single for 4 years. Then we see her talking to a guy named Billy. He's from Bangor, Ireland. And they were both actually in the cadets. So she has like a major respect for the military, because he did kind of move on into the military after being in the cadets. We got find out he has got a dog named Ollie. So even though our original Ollie obviously isn't here because he's living his best life. Um, Ollie has still made somewhat of an appearance. So, anyways, she does have a dog as well, and her dog's name is Chet. I think that's what she said. Her last relationship, she said it was a tough one. Broke her self-esteem basically. She doesn't really go into much else detail or much more of the details, at least at this point. Or maybe we just don't see it. But she says it broke her. He explains, Billy, that he was married 5 years ago. And he says they basically just fell out of love. Nothing more than that. He says, if I get married again, it's going to be the last time. He says he does not want to go through a divorce again. And I totally understand that. That's kind of how I feel. It kind of is why sometimes you can be a little fearful of entering into another marriage because you just do not want to have another one fail because your first one, in all intents and purposes, did. So I get him. We then meet Sophie. What a character this one is. I call her a firecracker. She says that she treats her first dates like an interview. Her and Chantel would be best of friends. So she kind of, we see her on like one of her dates or whatever, and she's like, dog or cats? And he says dogs. And she's like, oh, like, are you like not a cat person? Because like, I have a cat. And he basically says, I feel like you have to fight for a cat to love you. And I don't want to do that. So, oh no, wait, sorry, I'm confused. No, he says, I have a cat. And she's the one that says, like, I don't want to fight for their love. So that's what she says. She talks to this guy named Kieran, and he's an entrepreneur in the gaming world. Good for you. She has 4 brothers, and he's like, are they going to beat me up? Maybe. She said that she's never been in love before. He also said he's never been in love before. And I would normally think that's a red flag, but because both of you had never been in love before, maybe this could work. He apparently was in a 7-year relationship, and you've never been in love before? Because that seems really weird to me. She was in a 5-year relationship, and you were never in love before? That's a little bit weird to me as well. But I digress. He wants to be obsessed with his person. I don't know. No, I don't want you to be obsessed with me. I don't. I feel like, yes, I want you to adore the ground I walk on and love me and respect me. But to be obsessed with me, no, I want you to have a life outside of me. I want you to do your own thing. Like, I would feel that very smothering. But if that's what you want, if that floats your boat, by all means. Just not for me. They're like, so you want to have kids? Sure. 2 good for you? Yeah, three max. Um, she's like, because like I don't want an ugly car. She doesn't want a mom van. She wants to make sure she can keep up with her SUV, basically. So he's only been single for about a year, which isn't crazy to me, but it's crazy to me with this journey where the ultimate goal here is to get married at the end. A year doesn't seem like long enough. But who am I? Anyways, then we see Kieran talking to this girl named Megan. She's a professional dancer. She said something about working on a cruise ship before, I believe. Um, he says, oh, what kind of dancing do you like to do? She says, jazz is my forte. Same girl, same. He's like, I love dancing. He has hips, don't lie. Liquid hips. Don't ever do that again. Like, no. They do talk kids, and she says that she would like to have 1 kid and maybe potentially adopt more. And he's like, okay, I would be open to that. Like, he's never considered that before. But he's like, I'd be open to that. And okay, great. um, I can tell at this point because both Sophie and Megan are talking to the same person. And the kind of person that Sophie is, there's going to be drama. I can see it now. So we then move on to some guy. His name is Patrick. Says, if you pee on a tree, you're a part of that tree now. What is this, superstar? Superstar. Like, what, hugging the tree? What the hell is happening? He says that he's looking for the one, as they all are, looking for his twin flame. Can we stop? Can we really stop? Fuck. He's like, I don't follow my gut. Your gut's not reliable. I follow my spleen. It's a little bit more potent than your gut. Can you imagine if people just walk around being like, I'm just following my spleen? He's he's cute. He's quirky. It's too much for me. You do you, boo. So he talks to this woman. Her name is Anu, and he talks about splenic, splenic, splook. I don't fucking know. But he basically says it's following his instincts. Just say that. Why you gotta say follow my spleen? Just say you're gonna follow your instincts. Call it a day. I don't fucking get it. He's like, I ever heard, he's like, well, how does that work within religion? Because again, with Christianity or Catholicism, you know, that kind of way of thinking, being a little more spiritual, is against the dogma, which I'll never understand, but whatever. So she's like, how does that work? So he does say, I did grow up Christian. Um, Actually, to be true, he says I grew up Catholic. He said Christianity in general is important to his life growing up. So, it's kind of made him who he is in that sense. We move on from them and we meet this lovely woman named, I think it's Sarover. Interesting name. I think that's such an interesting name. She's only ever dated Indian boys. She is Indian. And she's like, I was kind of looking for my Indian Zac Efron. I have questions. Are you looking for your High School Musical Zac Efron, or like the 17 Again Zac Efron, or Dad Bod Zac Efron, or post facial surgery Zac Efron? Because the first three are okay. Well, maybe not the High School Musical Zac Efron, because that feels like pedophilia. But you see what I'm trying to say? Anyway, it's like I think that's why I'm still single, because you're looking for an Indian Zac Efron. That's a dime a dozen. You're not gonna find that very easily. She talks to this guy. His name is Cal. She explains to him that she is a co-owner of a medical company, and he explains that he is a co-owner of a gym. Are we frequenting the gym again for the casting for the men? Because it worked the last time. Anyway, so they are both co-owners of a business, though. That's, they can relate on that. He said he dated a girl he was with for a long time when he was in Dubai. So that clearly didn't work out, whatever. We'll get more on the history there a little later. We see, again, Ashley with Billy, and she asks him, I'm trying to just picture you, because I was thinking about you all last night. So I'm just trying to picture who you are. Do you have tattoos? And he says yes. He has, like, I think he's a treble clef with the lyrics from I Just Haven't Met You Yet by none other than Michael Bublé. Anyways, they're cute. I do find them very cute. More on them in a bit. We see Kieran with Megan, and it seems pretty service. It kind of gives me the vibes of, like, when we see a person connecting with somebody, we see that every season where they have two different people and it's always very sexual, physical attraction, that kind of thing, sexual tension. That's kind of the thing we see. And then we see with the other person, it can be partially that, as well as the emotion behind it. So we're kind of seeing that with this guy, with Karen, with Megan and Sophie. So we'll see, because there's no rhyme or reason. We've seen it go both ways. Um, then we see Karen with Sophie, and he does ask both of Megan and Sophie, um, what gives you butterflies? And she's a little more coy with her answers than Megan was. And he is a little frustrated. He's like, I want more. Like, what are you holding back? Because he obviously she is. And he says, in the moment, like her answers felt very much like a business deal, which you don't want that when you're trying to find a romantic connection. So we then see Cal and Sarover, and he's kind of talking about his history, saying that his brother was shot and his other brother has been to rehab. You know, he said he got out and ended up beating his wife and has been sober now for 2 years, and that's an amazing story. An amazing comeback. Did we get anything about the brother who was shot? Did he live? I think I think so, but like I don't know. Anyways, we then see Ashley and Billy again. So we're gonna finish with them, and then we'll be taking a break. So we see Ashley and Billy. He talks about his dad, and that he's been having a lot of injuries lately, and he gets really emotional talking about it because he's like, growing up, you see your dad, your parents in general as indestructible. So it's hard to see that change, 100%. Um, but he is on the mend, he says. She explains that her parents split up when she was around 16. She says she had to take on with helping with rent at 16. So, that's a lot. She's like, at this point, she just wants to find someone who can take care of her, because for a lot of her life, it's been about taking care of others. And he says to the camera that he is a bit nervous that she is cabin crew, because he's apparently dated people who were cabin crew before and it didn't work out. He says their lives just didn't align. So obviously he's very nervous about exploring that with her, knowing how things have ended before with other people. But anyway, that is it for now. We're going to take a break here. And when we come back, we'll finish up with the rest of the episode. Hi, everyone. So I have a new product for you to take part in. This is for J Armor wallets. Now, you can get these wallets for a pretty good price. Partially, it seems at this point, partially American made, but they're going to be planning to be completely American made by the year 2027. The fun part is that you can actually see what new wallet styles are going to be coming in 2026. So a little bit about the company. The company was founded by Jake Hernandez, who is also a part of the U.S. Air Force veteran, or he is a U.S. Air Force veteran. So with his business, he is also supporting charities like anti-child labor organizations, veteran support programs, and efforts to rebuild American manufacturing. So this is clearly something that is very important to him, and honestly, really important to me as well. And going to the link in the show notes, which I will say what that link is in a minute, but going to the link in the show notes not only helps support this podcast, but is also helping to support J Armor as well as helping support the charities that he finds near and dear to him. So if you go to the show notes and you find that link, the link is jarmorwallace.com/reality times two. So that is j-realiteatistwo. So I hope you go on and support not only me, but as well as this company. Now, that's enough of me. Let's go back to the episode. And I am back. So we come back to see Patrick and Inu. We find out that he's part Jamaican and part Nigerian. And she says, "Oh, yeah, well, I'm Nigerian as well." She says, Nigerians are tough. And she said, I think Jamaicans are a bit freer. Hell no, they ain't. I mean, maybe that's his experience. Hell no, they're not. Hell no, they're not. Maybe not to the extreme of, I can't speak on it, of Nigerians or maybe African parents in general. But in my experience, no, they're not. Like, Jamaican parents they don't romp. Anyway, he says his dad is Nigerian and he is tougher, while his mom is Jamaican and she's a little less strict. Again, I think that is his experience. That's not the majority. Anyway, he says at the end of the day, though, I am going to trust my spleen. There we are again with the spleen talk. Back to Sarover and Cal. She says that her parents split up. I think she said when she was a teenager. I didn't catch the age. She says that the thing that she misses the most with her parents' divorce is missing the family traditions. We find out that his parents also divorced when he was roughly in his first year of university, or as he says, uni. And around the same time as her, so roughly around the same time. His dad, he said, ended up moving to Dubai, but he does say, just, nothing to it. He just says that he is part Pakistani, and I'm like, oh, there it is, because I could see there's something in there, but he is part Pakistani, and his mom is English, so white, I'm going to assume. He is worried now because we know she's Indian. I think she mentioned it in this moment actually that she was. And we know he's part Pakistani, or his family at the end of the day are Pakistani. And apparently, I don't know much about this. Maybe I'll do a little research here at the end here because we're almost finished the episode. There apparently is a divide between Indian and Pakistani cultures. He says, 15 years ago, this would not be happening. They would not be talking to each other. He even says as much are we allowed to be talking to each other? This is apparently a really big thing. I'm going to do a little research here. Okay, so just I guess saying I said the Pakistan and the Indian War. I don't know if that's necessarily what's going on here. But well, I don't know. Let's talk about that. Oh, hold on. Conflict. Let's say that. So, just going based on what Google says, so there is a long-running dispute over Kashmir and cross-border terrorism that have been the predominant cause of conflict between the two states, with the exception of the Indo-Pakistani War of 1971, which occurred as a direct result of hostilities stemming from the Bangladesh Liberation War in erstwhile East Pakistan, I think is what I needed to say here, or it's now referred to as Bangladesh. So clearly this is kind of where we're at here. Um, just a little bit more here, and then we'll kind of end it off with this last piece here. And then also what we have one tiny little piece left of the episode, but India and Pakistan split in August 1947 due to conflicting visions for the end of British rule and concerns about religious dominance, particularly from Muslim leaders who feared being a minority in a Hindu majority India. Driven by Muhammad Ali Jinnah's demand for a separate Muslim nation called Pakistan, the British partitioned Pakistan, the British partitioned the subcontinent into two independent states, the Union of India and the Dominion of Pakistan, a process that led to widespread violence, displacement, and lasting conflict. Um, so that's basically it. I mean, obviously, Google AI is breaking it down even more because that's what they do. Uh, border drawing, the borders of the new nations, particularly in the province of Punjab and Bengal, were drawn based on direct wise Muslim or non-Muslim majorities by British and civil servant uh, Cyril Bradcliffe or what is it? Um, Whatever. Lasting legacy, the partition left a lasting legacy of mistrust and conflict between India and Pakistan, including ongoing disputes over the region of Kashmir or Kashmir. So yeah, I mean that's kind of what's kind of going on here. It kind of feels like the Montagues and the Capulets, where it's like we hate each other so much, and like our kids can't get married to each other. So I mean, I hope that that's not gonna I don't think it's a problem within the two of them, but I wonder for the more old school people who have maybe been around long enough to remember this happening and the divide happening and the wars and violence and all of that happening, that, they may not be as forgiving. But I guess we'll kind of see what will happen if it even gets to that. But, yeah, we're finished with them. We then move on to Billy and Ashley, and he says that there comes a time that you need to be honest with people. And I'm thinking, like, oh shit, like he's gonna end it with her because of her job. Um, where I feel like he should just sit down and have a conversation with her. But I was worried that that's what was going to happen. Um, so we'll talk about what is going to happen with that in the next episode. So, yeah, I mean, usually I do split I put more than one in one episode, but just to kind of bang them out kind of situation because I am behind here. I'm not going to hold on to an episode, it's going to release it. So the episodes could be shorter due to that. But either way, just as a reminder, this is being released first on Patreon. So Patreon subscribers are getting this first. And then this will be released to the wider public a week after that. And again, as a reminder, this is audio only. There is no video for this episode. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. That is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, dot podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.